summer series. A pleasant good evening to everyone. My name is Abdul White. I will be your host again this evening for this our series in the Summer Institute program. This evening we'll be having a bit of a difference. We'll be having our branch day, and also for that we'll be having our lecture series. So this evening's program will be a bit longer. It will definitely be a bit longer. So I would like you to bear with us. So I think we have enough persons to start, and we can go right into our program. So at this time, I would like to invite our sister Samantha. She's also one of our committee members in the executive. And I would like to invite Sister Samantha to lead us in a word of prayer.
Good afternoon, colleagues. Let's pray. Dear God and Heavenly Father, we thank you for your love, your mercies, and your grace towards us. Lord, we thank you that we can meet as a teachers' union to discuss pertinent matters related to teachers. We pray, Heavenly Father, that you would have take full control of our branch day activities and also our lecture. We pray, dear God, for those who have to make presentations, that you would give them the wisdom, the knowledge, so that their presentations will be fluent and we would be able to benefit from what we have to say. So Lord, we ask you to take full control of our session. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you very much, Sister Samantha. So this year we, as because of the whole issue with the pandemic and COVID, it is that's one of the reasons we are having branch day virtually, and it's one of the first time we are doing this, and I really hope that it comes off and you enjoy the session here this afternoon. We'll be having a number of cultural presentations. I think roughly about 3 cultural presentations here this afternoon from different members of our teachers union. So I want to go right into the program. You'll be hearing also from our president this evening, and I know there's a lot of things happening right now with us getting ready to go back to school and all of that. So our president, he will definitely update us on some of the things that is happening and some of the things that the union is doing in the interest of teachers, looking out for teachers. So at this time, we will do the national anthem. So I believe I would have to stand, and we will sing the national anthem, and then we will go right into the teacher's song. And from that, we'll have some remarks from our president, Oswald Robinson. So the anthem will be in instrumental. So I know wherever you are, I'm asking you to stand at attention as we do the national anthem. My brother Sharice he will be the co-host this afternoon again, and so he will be doing the national anthem for us. You'll be organizing that part of it. Thank you very much. We will move right into our teacher song. We move right into our teacher song at this time. Those of you who know this song, you could sing along at home.
Oh, teachers of this young nation, a fertile land and sea, rise up and make our nation strong and serve SVGTU. All teachers must unite as one, for all work hand in hand. We'll dedicate ourselves and strive for strength and unity. Our task as teachers we pursue the noblest task of all. Join hand in hand, united stand. Be loyal to our call. With various talents rightly used, a mighty force will be our own resources we will choose to build a nation free. Now then, arise, let's take one stand. Be firm and never bend. Let's take our people, sea and land, a just home our end, a just home our end.
Okay, so that was the national anthem and our teachers song. At this time, I would like to invite our president, our very hardworking president, Mr. Oswald Robinson, to give some remarks and to, I believe I'm thinking about splitting this into two sections, him giving some brief remarks now and then probably coming back after the cultural presentation before the start of the lecture series to maybe have some question and answer in terms of a question and answer section. But he would decide however he wants to do that. So at this time, I would also like to acknowledge the presence of our vice president acting, first vice president acting, Mr. Vanrick Williams. We also have some other members of the executive, Ms. Ketty Kidron. She's the co-host with me here this afternoon. And we also have, I mentioned Samantha earlier. As I see members of the National Executive in the participant section, I would update persons on that. So at this time, I would like to invite our president, Mr. Robinson. Mr. Robinson, are you hearing me?
Yes, I've done. Okay. First of all, I want to greet our hardworking teachers here in St. Vincent Grenadines for continuing to demonstrate that high level of professionalism, your dedication to education, and I want to encourage you to continue to do your best as we move forward. I want to allot and create some awareness among us as to a number of things that we decided as a national executive, as a union, and also even some upcoming events. Before I get into a very important matter, which is not only national but regional and international, the whole issue of COVID and back to school, and so I must speak to that issue. We have taken a decision as a national executive that we would restrict the hours of our office from 8 to 2 p.m. because we are restricting the number of the traffic entering the office. Because as you know, the COVID issue, whether you are vaccinated or not, the evidences are there to show that you could contract and you can spread it. So we are taking the necessary precautionary measures to ensure that our office, our staff is safe, and those of us executive who would visit the office from time to time. We have even gone a step further by putting a hold on all our national executive meetings, of which we would be having virtual meetings until further notice, as we continue to review and assess the developments as it relates to COVID. The relief committee would have completed another important task of distributing monetary assistance and, in some cases, book bags to students in the red zones. And it is important that we congratulate those teachers who would have received. There was some little misunderstanding concerning the criteria based on the limited amount of funds that we receive as donations from overseas. We established a criteria that the active teachers in the classroom would be the ones who would receive. We didn't cater for the retirees. We are hoping once we are able to mobilize any other support, we would ensure that other persons benefit. So that was a very good exercise, and we appreciate those who came to our assistance so that we were in a position to assist our teachers. And this activity will continue because, as you know, disaster management, relief, and recovery is something that we must keep on the agenda because we live in a zone that is prone to hurricane, and we have other natural disasters which would impact on us from time to time. We are still awaiting a few branches to indicate to us where they want their COVID posters to be displayed. We still have 2 left at the office, and we are waiting on the leadership of those branches to indicate so that we could get them out. We are expecting that this month coming up, the month of October, that all the branches would be meeting. We are hoping that we would be able to install new executive in those branches which have not had one, and we're expecting that these meetings will be held virtually. So we are giving the branches, whether you have an interim committee or a skeleton executive in place. We are expecting that we would be able to execute that sometime next month. So you would hear from us very soon. Again, Solidarity Week is closed, just November. We have already given instruction to the Industrial Relations Committee to start to plan an activity. And again, depending on the COVID situation, this again may be held virtually. So we're looking forward to those events. It is not too early to let you know that national elections will be held in the month of February based on our national constitution. Of course, when the executive meets in collaboration with General Council, a specific date would be set, or dates, and also a date for convention. Convention is scheduled for the month of April. I'm saying this early so those of you who have intentions to contest would prepare yourself to get ready. I am willing and ready to wait on my successor to take over the leadership of the union. So please bear that in mind. The SVGTU Speaks program would be held sometime next week on the television station. The program is normally recorded the second Tuesday in each month, and it is brought
I then the time has me there and I want workshop.
the Thursday of that week. And then Teachers Talk, which is our interactive radio program, is held on Extreme Radio, and it would be held this Sunday from 6 p.m. So please tune in, teachers, and make your contribution to the program. And we appreciate any critique that you have that is constructive, that will be able to enhance the program. Any topics which you think is needed, whether you yourself is willing to be a guest on the program, all that is welcome. So we're looking forward for your support, your participation, your interaction. The National Executive held or participated in two very important meetings with the Ministry of Education. One was last week Wednesday, and there was one yesterday. Now the Ministry of Education has established what they call a task force, which is a committee that deals with back to school. There's another committee that is established that deals with projects for school, and there are two separate I don't know what happened. I noticed I was muted. I think I'm in charge of the meeting. I'm making a presentation, so I don't expect to be muted. I may sound a little harsh, but based on the Constitution, the President is responsible for chairing the meeting, and that's what I'm doing. Sometimes we get carried away with this technology. The point I'm making is that we had a meeting with the Ministry of Education, and last week, Wednesday, we decided that there should be no mandatory vaccination of our members. This has been the decision of the teachers union. The membership would have endorsed that, would have expressed that. And so we carried out that responsibility to the best of our ability. We are not leaving any stones unturned as a union. It is important that we remain focused, united, committed, and steadfast. We have seen where we took decisions at the level of the general meetings, and when it comes to follow through those decisions, we are not really given the support that is required. And that is something we have to observe and pay close attention to. So we participated in that meeting, and the ministry was actually looking at all that is required to get school up and ready to return to school based on the scheduled date on the 4th of October. Now, what form school reopening would take is something that the cabinet would decide upon. And so the principals, senior education officers, they are to be collaborating in working out what is the best mode, whether it's a blended approach, whether it's just strictly face to face, or what form it takes. That's a decision for each school. Because what may suit school A may not suit school B. So that is our understanding. We made it abundantly clear in that meeting that the teachers union will support the schools and by extension the Ministry of Education in terms of the mode in which they would go back to school. But we will not tolerate any move towards mandatory vaccination. We know for sure that there are a number of schools work still going on. We heard that there are health protocols that should be
Health insurance for teachers.
submitted by the Ministry of Health. We know for sure that the police, the traffic department would have spoken about the number of occupants in vehicle depending on the size. All those things are being taken into consideration. The Teachers Union also said to the Ministry of Education that in terms of presenting of the negative PCR tests, we would like the government to take on the responsibility to pay for those tests. Because as you know, our salaries would have been frozen. Any increase in salaries would have been frozen from last year up to this year. Okay, 2 years, 2 consecutive years. And when we look at the cost of living that has been taking place, the inflation rate, it's going against the pocket, the already meager salaries some of us are receiving. So, and we know that there's increase in tax on other utility bills. So we took all that into consideration and we made a submission that PCR tests should be the cost of the government. We also said that the government should accept liability for any adverse effects and or death as a result of vaccination. The issue of testing, we thought it would be discriminatory to have only persons who are unvaccinated being tested. Because as you know, both vaccinated and unvaccinated, they can contract the virus and they can spread it, right? We have followed up this conversation with the Ministry of Education, and we have written to the Prime Minister asking for consideration to given to the 3 points I made, okay? And that is that the government should pay for the tests, and they should have accept liability, and then if we are accepting negative tests, it should be accepted from everybody. In our meeting with the Ministry of Education, we also raised the issue about those of our members who may have need for exemptions based on their conscience, their religious rights. And so we did inform the ministry that those teachers would put that in writing. And we hope that you would do so. And if there is no redress, then it's something that we would have to further consult with our legal team to know the next move. Tomorrow, God's willing, we would be having a meeting with the Attorney General to discuss those guidelines which were published in the newspapers. we know we even though we are optimistic, you know already who we are dealing with, and we know that the government is bent on doing what it wants to do. So by chance, you may be just going through the motion because what you were supposed to do for us, you're doing last. You pass a bill in the House of Parliament. Now it's an act of Parliament. Literally, you have to say it's already law, even though the Governor General still has to assent to it. But you are publishing guidelines, so you're putting the law before the policy. We still have not seen a clear policy. But we are still doing whatever we can as a union to represent you effectively. We have dealt with a number of matters related to transfers and that sort of thing. It may be a little late now for some people because based on our collective agreement, preliminary transfer list should have been out by the second week, 2 weeks before school reopened. These should have been discussed with principals and so on and so forth. But we want teachers to be assured that the union continues to stand tall, stand firm. We have been interacting on a number of regional media programs because what is happening in St. Vincent and Grenadines is not limited here, and our other colleagues in the region, they want to learn from our experiences. Even up to Sunday, we were in solidarity with the Antigua and Barbuda Teachers Union because, as you know, they would have filed an injunction in the High Court against the government there concerning vaccination. So, as it stands now, we do not have any definite word as to when school will reopen. I was expecting that the government would have said something today because normally cabinet would meet on a Wednesday. I am speculating that you might get a last minute notice. However, I am proposing to this meeting, we're getting some feedback from teachers in the meeting. I think the host has to mute whoever is causing. Thank you.
Yeah, your mic is open.
Thank you very much, teachers. So I was making the point that we have to keep our fingers crossed, and I am proposing to this meeting that we would have a follow-up general meeting just before school reopen because we have to plan what we are doing. This meeting may not be the most appropriate time to plan our strategy and to decide how we go forward because there are a few things we need to know. We need to know the number of teachers who are vaccinated, and we need to be clear in our minds if we are going to take any action, what form of action, and that we have everybody or the majority of our teachers on board. So I am proposing that we would have a follow-up meeting. I would discuss this with the other members of the executive, probably weekend, Sunday, because we need to I believe that the authority is going to give you a last-minute announcement as to what is going to happen and to try to catch us off guard. So we have to be prepared. As I said, the 4th of October is the date proposed, but from what we have seen happening, a lot of the work on the ground and listening to the ministry, a lot of things not ready. There are schools that have to be fogged, sanitized, disinfected, and there's some work which they are planning to do when school reopen. I caution them on that. I said, depending on the nature of the work, it's not safe. It's a potential threat for safety, health, to the occupants of school to have major work being done while school is ongoing. So I want to thank you, teachers, for attending this very important session. We know we're going to have a second session with the workshop. Please participate, encourage your teachers, your other colleagues to get involved in the life of the union, your branches, your committees, and stand tall with your union. As we go forward, I want to encourage you to stand firm, to be committed to your job, and I want to take this opportunity also to wish you, your family, and your friends to be safe Take every necessary precaution to remain safe. If you have all the necessary information and you're comfortable in being vaccinated, go and take your vaccine. If you're not ready yet, we are still saying that your choice must be respected. Let us work together as a union. Let us not be divided by who is vaccinated and who is unvaccinated. We must be tolerant of the views of others. Even though we disagree, we must do so respectfully. So I want to turn back. I want to turn back over to the host of the program and I am proposing that we'd have a follow-up meeting in which we could deliberate, have a more lengthy discussion in terms of back to school preparation, to hear from you and to get your commitment in whatever actions we are going to take. But as the host would have said, if there are a few questions, I could take about 2 or 3 now, and then probably when we meet, follow-up meeting later on, probably this week, we could consolidate in what we're doing. But if there are any quick urgent questions now, I'm willing to try my best to answer, and then because we have a long program, as the host would have said, and I've already gone beyond my time. Thank you.
So, brothers and sisters, there you have it, our president again. Robbie, let me just apologize there for the muting. I actually went to mute someone else.
Okay. I heard all it again. I thought it's the technology.
No, the screen jumped at the same time, so I end up clicking on you instead of clicking on that.
Okay. All right.
So,
in order. Apologies.
Do we have any questions?
Okay. One of the reasons I also,
go ahead, Rob.
yes, one of the reasons I also said that this forum here may not be the most appropriate to deal with actually back to school. Not that, remember I said earlier, we may not have all the information at hand, but these sessions are normally shared with other colleagues in the region because they benefit from these workshops, right? So you may find 1 or 2 of those persons from the region in this meeting, okay? And we would really want to confine our discussions really to ourselves when it comes to what strategy we're taking, what we're actually going to do. So if there are no further comments or questions, I will take my pause now and turn back over to our brother, Abdan. Continue to do a good job. You did that the last time, and it's good to see you again. Following through.
Thank you, brother president, our president, Oswald Robinson, one of the stalwarts of the 7th Senate Grannies teachers. For many years, he has been a servant of teachers for many years at different levels on the executive. I think one of the longest serving presidents or person who would have served as president over the years. At this time, so see that no one had any questions. We had a few persons saying thank you, Mr. President, and someone unmuted their mic. I don't know if they're going to ask a quick question. August, any question?
Juanita data.
It doesn't seem like Fergus is going to ask a question. Okay, so at this time we're going to go straight into the cultural presentation section. We have some teachers who would have done some presentation to teachers, and actually one student, as a student of a member, that they would have done whatever pre-recording, and so they want to share it with. We're gonna have our first presentation, and Brother Conliffe, as I said before, he's our technical person here this evening, and he's going to be helping me with the technical aspect of our branch day here today. What to make this even a bit more fun, in the comments, what persons can do is say which branch they're from. Just type in a comment, which, for example, I'm from the Southern Grenadines branch. I'm gonna I'm going to type that. I'm just going to type SG, right? I'm just going to type SG. So I'm from the Southern Grenadines branch. I know we have a few more persons here from the Southern Grenadines branch. So if you're from the Northern Grenadines or Mariaqua, East Kingston, West Kingston, North Leeward, North Windward, whichever branch, see, we have another person, Paul Harry, from the North Leeward branch. So at the end, we'll see which branch actually has the most members here this evening. So just type your branch. Let us know exactly which branch you're from, and let us see which branch is more represented here this evening. I will have to probably go on my phone and start texting my Southern Grenadines brothers and sisters so that they could get in on this branch day, and we could have more persons from the Southern Grenadines. You know, I'm a Grenadines man, and I push for a lot of things for Grenadines teachers. So I'm now seeing a lot North Windward, North Leeward. It seems like North Windward and North Leeward is represented here a lot. I see Mariaqua coming in. All right, so why are we on that side of it? I'm gonna let our brother Conliffe assist me here in our first cultural presentation. This presentation is by Glenroy Pancho Thomas. I believe he's a member of East Kingston, I believe he's a member of East Kingston. So Mariaqua, sorry, he's a member of Mariaqua, my bad. He's a member of Mariaqua. So Mariaqua is represented here in the cultural presentation aspect. So Brother Conliffe, I'm gonna hand it over to you to put that presentation on the screen.
Good morning, everyone. Are you guys hearing me? Of course you guys are hearing me. This is pre-recorded. My name is Glenroy Thomas, and I am a teacher at the Vision Methodist School, and this is my contribution to the program. Gone are the days when going to work was easy. Now going to work feels uneasy. 1, 2, 3, 4, sanitize before you enter the door. 5, 6, 7, 8, get tested or vaccinate. 9, 10. Oh, I catch you. You thought I had something to rhyme with that. Well, here is one fact. At work, students may be rude or give trouble. Our workplace may be online or in a bubble. To the profession, you may be old or new. But this is what I want to tell you. Together in this pandemic, we will get through. No need for daily affirmation because the real strength is in you. Face to face or blended, back to school we go. Whatever the future brings, that we may never know. Not all heroes wear a cape. Well, I wear a jacket sometimes and a tie, you know. But you, the real heroes, as you resume your tasks, don't forget to wear your mask.
Okay, so that is that's a nice monologue by our brother Glenroy Pancho Thomas. At this time, we're gonna have another presentation, and this presentation will be done by a student, Jolicia Pompey. Sorry, Jolicia Pope, my bad. Jolicia Pope. Now, Jolicia Pope, I'm going to tell a bit about Jolicia Pope. Jolicia Pope is a versatile 16-year-old. She participated in various cultural activities such as arts, theater arts, music, and other community activities. She started playing steel pan at the tender age of 6. Later on, she immediately joined the Starlift Steel Orchestra. Not only can she play the steel pan, but can also play the guitar, piano, and quattro. Jolicia loves the Lord, singing, and photography. So at this time, I am honored to present to you Miss Jolicia Pope. there we have it. Alicia Pope doing her presentation. And I could definitely see the chat is heating up. We have a lot of participation in the chat. And it seems like, let me see, but who's winning this thing so far? To me, it seems like it's not Winwood. But I could be wrong. It seems like it is not Winwood. But definitely we have representation from a number of the branches. All right. So our next cultural presentation would be from another member from the Civil and Agrarian Teachers Union, a member from East Kingston. But let me go to the chat. Let me see how we're doing. Hold on, Let me see here. South Central, North Windward. We have North Windward in the house. Let me see what we have in the house. So we have Southern Grenadines in the house, North Leeward, Northern Grenadines, East Kingston, Northern Grenadines, North Windward, North Windward, North Windward, North Leeward, Mariaqua, West Kingston, North Windward. Good afternoon to my good brother there, Mr. Philbert. John, South Leeward, North Windward again, South Windward, North Windward. Yo, no, I think North Windward is winning the attendance battle this afternoon so far. And we know our brothers and sisters from North Windward, they would have suffered a lot. Volcanic eruption. And the Civil and Agrarian Teachers Union tried its very best to address some of their needs by giving out care packages, by assisting them monetarily. So
I've done. That's my brand.
We've always been here, trying to assist our teachers in whatever way we can. And the Civil and Agrarian Teachers Union will continue to stand by our members and stand by our teachers. So let us go right in. I hope my technical pause is ready. I'm not going to tell you what the presentation is about, but let us go right into our next presentation. And this presentation is from Henrietta Belingi from the East Kingston branch. So, Brother Conliffe, I hand it totally over to you.
You said Rena was here? Rena come? Rena come still? Yeah. Come in and see it. Rena see it? Come put your hand this way.
That's for the camera.
Wait, Miss don't be late. Where you say? She gonna collect she pay? You not hear when me not talk to Robbie. He said teachers now get plenty money. She not better go collect none because some bills alone is done. Yes, you have to sit down. Latest news is top. And no comments, me hear me stress. Then why she teach the curriculum and the resources that I provide is little to none. She said just now we go have to sit down on the floor because would like start to use the bench and desk.
Mercy.
And my head for the door.
Mercy.
Me hear me start tell now she text on it. I want 96. Yesterday she been a cough. No, me not laugh. It could have been the trap dust. All the things that fell from the ceiling. If I so, this one I go healing. It's not easy to deal with so much away. Mr. to me,
Preach, preach.
Miss us listen when we come with the home affairs. She doesn't give support. Man, people say how she always just pull up with things. When me talk, you home. Me go and go see Miss Up. Quiet fast. Principal attack. You wait a minute. Let me hear what she tell me scary. Miss in the hospital. Condition critical. Miss got a stroke. Disgusting, ain't no joke. What we going to do? Me call my friend up in his full through. Miss, hurry up, come back. Miss.
So there you have it. There you have it. Our third cultural presentation as part of our branch, this celebration. As I said, it has been a different 2 years. Members have been coping with the fallouts of COVID and the volcanic eruption and all of that. And we have found different ways of still being able to engage ourselves with one another and be part of one another's life. And so we want to thank those teachers who would have submitted their presentation. And we also want to thank Julissa for submitting her presentation. So we have one more presentation. And this is not, I won't say it's the best, but it's from the Southern Grenadines. It's from the Southern Grenadines. It's a teacher, a colleague of mine from the Southern Grenadines. So her name is Sheena Clouden. She's a French teacher at the United Secondary School. And Sheena has always been a person who has been involved in music, dance, and the arts in general. So I present to you Miss Sheena Clouden.
Twisted lies. You may trod me in the very dirt, but still, like dust, I'll rise. Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you beset with gloom? 'Cause I walk like I've got oil wells pumping in my living room. Just like the moons and like suns with the certainty of tides. Just like hopes springing high, still I'll rise. Do you want to see me broken, bowed head and lowered eyes? Shoulders falling down like teardrops, weakened by my soulful cries? Does my heartiness offend you? Don't you take it awful hard, 'cause I laugh like I've got gold mines digging in my own backyard. You may shoot me with your words, you may cut me with your eyes, you may kill me with your hatefulness, but still, like air, I rise. Does my sexiness upset you? Does it come as a surprise that I dance like I've got diamonds at the meeting of my thighs? Out of the hurts of history's shame, I rise. Up from a past that's rooted in pain, I rise. I'm a black ocean leaping and wide, welling and swelling, I bear in the tide. Leaving behind nights of terror and fear, I rise. Into a daybreak that's wondrously clear, I rise. Bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave. I am the dream and the hope of the slave. I rise. I rise. I
So there you have it. we have some very talented teachers that are members of the St. Granny's Teachers Union. And for those members who are just logging in, just joining our branch day and our series here this evening, we want to know which branch you're from. So in the chat section, please go in, just type the initials of your branch, type whether it's, if you're from East Kingston, you could type EK or whatever. We want to know. And at the end, my co-host, our general secretary, she will assist me in getting the numbers here. So it is 2 minutes past 6, and we have come to the end of our branch day section, and we really hope that teachers would have enjoyed what we had to offer. We heard from the president of the St. Granny's Teachers Union, and he would be, hopefully we would announce very soon our date for our emergency general meeting, because as we said earlier, there are a number of things that are happening in terms of going back to school and conditions for going back to school and all of that. So I'm inviting everyone, stay tuned with your, keep communicating with your branch, trying to get information. Stay tuned to our Facebook page, where you could also get information as to the time for meetings. Listen to our radio program on Extreme on Sunday evening at 6 o'clock. That program is normally hosted by our PRO acting Fiona Charles, and sometime our IIRO, Mr. Andrew John. I didn't even acknowledge his presence here this evening. So we're gonna move straight into this summer series program, and this is organized. It's a joint venture by actually 3 parties: the St. Granny's Teachers Union, the Canadian Teachers Federation, and the Ministry of Education. This evening we have 2 presenters with us here. 3 presenters here this evening. Just give me 1 sec. Let me just get my stuff organized. I'll be right back with you. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back with you. So yeah, I'm back with you. So we have 3 presenters here this evening, and I'm going to allow our General Secretary, Ms. Ketty Kittering. She will be introducing our speakers here this evening. As I said, this afternoon workshop, our Summer Institute series would be on motivation and the teacher. Last week we dealt with mental health issues, and I know that a lot of persons really enjoyed that program, and there was a lot to take away from that program. So I'm going to turn it over to Mrs. Ketty Kittering to introduce our speakers for this evening, or presenters for this evening. Ketty.
Good afternoon, good evening, everyone. And yes, I will be doing introducing our facilitators. First, I will introduce Miss Shakira James Cumberbatch. Miss Shakira James Cumberbatch is the wife of Reverend Ezra Cumberbatch and the mother of 2 robust children, Savannah and Liam. She is a Christian counselor and has been a counselor for the Kingston Government School for the past 8 years. She led private counseling sessions for the past 5 years. Mrs. Cumberbatch is a Jamaican by birth and a Vincentian by plane. She loves God and she loves people. Her motto is driven through the words of a song by Jermaine Edwards. Maybe I won't win a big award or meet some famous movie star. Maybe the world won't know me or see my face on the cover of a magazine. But at the end of the day, I want to make you smile. Jesus. Our second facilitator, Miss Lisa Aldrich. Aldrich. Right?
Yeah.
She is from one of our CTF facilitator. Miss Lisa Aldridge is a teacher in York Region, Ontario for the past 20 years, working with children ages 5 to 12. One of her greatest pleasure was working in St. Lucia for the project overseas in 2019. She has recently taken both a math and an environmental education course. In her spare time, Lisa loves spending time outside with her family. And our third facilitator, also from our CTF, one of our CTF representatives, is Miss Monique Wilson. Miss Monique Wilson has been a teacher in Edmonton, Alberta for 18 years, mainly in humanities. She had the great pleasure of working in St. Lucia for Project Overseas in 2019 also. She is currently completing her Master's in Education Policy Studies in Social Justices and International Education. I present you, these are our three participants who will be doing their presentation on motivation and the teacher. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Rind. Just before I hand it over to our presenters, or facilitators for today, I'm gonna leave it up to you guys to kind of decide how you're doing this. That's what we did last week. Last week, what we did, we just kind of let it, you know. I think one presenter started, and then the other one they came in after, but we have some very qualified and able presenters here this afternoon, just listening to their bio. So I know we're gonna have an interesting session. Going back to school, some teachers are motivated, some teachers are not, some teachers have a lot of uncertainty, and I know that spikes a lot of things in their heads. So I'm gonna call you guys by your first name. I hope that we're okay on that. I believe we are all friends. So we have Shakira, we have Lisa, and we have Monique. All right. So let me start with Shakira. Do you want to say something? Say just come in. I just want to make sure everyone we can hear everybody.
All right. Good evening, everyone.
Yeah, we have Shakira. Good evening, Shakira. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing quite fine. You hearing me loud and clear?
Yes, and I'm hearing the Jamaican accent in there.
All right, all good, all good.
So Lisa, how are you doing, Lisa?
I'm doing well. Thank you very much. It's nice to be here.
Well, it's good to have you with us. How is the weather over there in Canada?
Today is quite nice. Yeah, it was quite warm today, but soon it will be fall and it will get cold.
And Monique, how are you doing, Monique?
I'm well, thank you. Thank you, everyone, for having me.
Okay, it's lovely to have these three ladies here with us this evening. So the topic this evening is motivation and the teacher. So I'm gonna just hand it over to you guys. I don't know who would lead off the session this afternoon. I don't know if Shakira wants to go first, and then maybe Lisa, and then maybe Monique. Or, you know, but as I said, you guys could probably come in and out from time to time. So I'm going to leave that up to you guys. And then we will have a section with questions. So it's just 11 minutes past 6. So I'm just going to hand it over to you guys. So right now, everything is up to you guys.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. White. So I will start. And then my fellow colleagues, Lisa and Monique, will chip in at various points during the presentation. I am really glad to be here and that I could share with my fellow teachers this evening. Am I able to share my screen? Is everyone able to see my screen?
I think it's on its way. I don't see it yet, but I think it's on its way.
Okay.
It says it's starting to share.
Are you able to see it now?
Not yet.
All right, so while we wait for the screen to load, we're going to do an icebreaker. And this icebreaker, I need everyone to participate in. It's called What's in Your Bag? So we know that we're all teachers and we have to return to school eventually, whether it's face-to-face or online. And there are certain things that you deem as educators that are important to you, that has to be in your bag. I want you to name 3 things that you must have in your bag. And guys, if it is a briefcase or a knapsack, whatever it is that you have, what are the 3 most important things that you need to have in your bag as an educator? So I'm giving you 10 seconds and I'm counting down. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So I want you to unmute your mics and I want you to share with me what are the 3 most important things that you must have in your bags.
I always have a red pen and a snack, and usually an extra mask or some hand sanitizer these days.
All right, wonderful. Those things have become a staple for us, hand sanitizer and a mask. What about you, Lisa?
Yes, definitely hand sanitizer, some different color crayons or markers, and some kind of a game, maybe a math game or something.
All right, wonderful. Thank you for sharing. I'm waiting for a few more other persons. What are the 3 must-haves that are in your bag? No? Anyone? Someone saying something?
Lesson plan.
Lesson plan. Mm-hmm.
Your device and pencil, pen.
Device and pencil and pen. Can you tell me your name, please?
Geraldine May.
Thank you very much, Miss May. So Miss May has to have a lesson plan, device, pencil, pen. All right, 2 more persons, share quickly.
Right now, I need my health, most important in my bag.
Your health?
My health. Team of work and a lesson plan. And lesson plan, sorry.
All right. Thank you very much. Give me your name, please.
Kathleen Butler.
Thank you, Miss Butler, for sharing. 1 more, quickly.
Hello?
Hello.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes, well,
Lewis.
yes, please.
Go ahead.
In my bag, I have an opener.
Opener?
Yes. A pliers. And a ruler.
All right, wonderful. Thank you very much, Mr. Lewis.
Yes.
You have to have your opener, your pliers, and your ruler.
Yes.
That's great. And in this day and age, we realize that to add with those things, we have to have mask and hand sanitizer as well, right? And when I was asked to do this presentation, I sat down and I said to myself, What is it that I can say to the teachers? And there was a question that came to me. How are the teachers actually doing? Has anyone really stopped to ask, how are you truly doing? You know, not the casual greeting, how are you? And, you know, we say, oh, I'm good, or I'm blessed and highly favored and all of that. But how are you truly doing? In this time where you have been faced with so many things, there's COVID, there is dengue, there was the volcanic eruption. Some of us worked at the shelters over time. You have your own personal life, the uncertainty of the future, returning to school, all of that. We already know our roles and responsibilities, and we know what is being asked of us. But how are we doing? How are you truly doing? And I'm hoping that you can see my emotional weather chart. If you can, let me know. Are you able to see my screen now?
No.
Yes, I can see it. What kind of emotional weather are you having today? Is that
Right.
the information? Yeah.
Right. So the chart says, if you're sunny, you're happy or excited. And I'm not just asking you about today. In this period, how are you feeling? Are you feeling sunny, which is happy or excited? Are you feeling snowy, relaxed and peaceful? Are you feeling like a rainbow, hopeful? Are you feeling cloudy, sad? Are you feeling stormy, angry, frustrated, windy, anxious, stressed? Are you feeling foggy, confused, depressed? Or are you feeling grumpy? How are you feeling? I want you to unmute your mics and tell me how you're feeling.
I'm feeling sunny.
You're feeling sunny. All
Sunny,
right.
yes.
All right, wonderful. So we have one sunny. Anybody else wants to share?
Rainbow.
Rainbow, you're feeling hopeful.
I'm feeling rainbow as well.
All right, so that's 2 rainbows.
I'm feeling rainbow as well.
Rainbow, oh, the rainbows are ahead.
Rainbow.
Foggy.
Rainbow, sunny.
Foggy.
Foggy if you're confused and depressed. Okay.
I'm feeling sunny.
Sunny. Okay.
Snowy.
I'm hearing snowy, so you're relaxed and peaceful.
That's right.
All right, thank you. Just waiting for a few other persons to share. So far, we have snowy, we have sunny, we have foggy, we have hopeful.
I'm feeling windy.
Windy, anxious and stressed. Okay. Anybody else feeling windy?
I'm more stormy.
You're stormy, you're angry and frustrated. All right. 2 other persons. How are you feeling?
We have to ensure that any agreement that is signed does not limit.
And if you want, you can type it in the chat as well, how you're feeling. If you don't want to unmute your mic or you're unable to unmute your mic.
Windy.
You're feeling windy, anxious and stressed.
Hi, Miss Cumberbatch. I'm feeling like a rainbow. I'm hopeful.
All right, wonderful. You are hopeful. Just one more person to share. How are you feeling?
Mixed feeling.
You have mixed feeling. What's the mix? So you're feeling windy and
Stormy, windy.
Stormy, windy.
Hopeful.
All right. Thank you very much for sharing. All right. And the reality is, with everything that is going on, it is quite fine to feel the way that you are feeling. Some days you feel hopeful or more hopeful. There are other days you might feel really really windy, especially when it's coming on to back to school and the uncertainty of what form or what format school would be in for you. It might be windy. So you might be a little bit anxious, stressed, you might be stormy, so you might be angry and frustrated. And guess what? That's normal. It's okay for you to feel that way because life has given us a few curveballs, a few googly for those who watch cricket. And some get a big knock out the park.
Excuse a bit, Miss Cumberbatch. Could you excuse, please? There are some persons who have their mics on and it's creating a great feedback. So I'm not sure if everybody is hearing you clearly.
Oh, okay. Can everyone just check their mics to ensure that it's muted? Or the technical person, can you assist us in muting? All right, wonderful. Thank you very much. Right, so I was saying that it's quite normal and natural for us to be having these feelings and having the mixed emotions because we are human beings. Even though a lot is expected from us, you are human beings, and at the end of the day, we still feel. And there's something particular in your song that I like, that we work together. It speaks about unity. And especially in a time like this, we need to really encourage each other. And we really need to be there for each other, right? And so the feelings that you are having, they're quite normal and they are quite natural. And sometimes when we check the feelings, we can become demotivated. And when we become demotivated, we find that we lack enthusiasm because we feel overwhelmed, right? We feel overwhelmed and we feel as if there is nothing going right for us at the moment. But I want to encourage you and implore you to remember who you are. You are chosen. You are life givers. You give birth to careers. You give educational birth to blank slates. Because when we get students, and it doesn't matter what level you get them at, they come as a blank slate to you and you impart knowledge to them. So you give birth to them and you are valuable, you are precious, and you are special. Who is a teacher? A teacher, we sometimes call a school teacher or an educator, is someone who helps students to acquire knowledge, competence, or virtue. But what makes a great teacher is someone who is warm, accessible, enthusiastic, and caring. Because guess what? Students feel comfortable airing their questions, concerns, or funny stories with you because you possess good listening skills and often take time out of your too busy schedules just to assist them with their needs. But sometimes, as I said before, we can get demotivated. And I would like to ask you, before I share what are some of the things I realize that demotivates teachers, what are some of the things that really demotivates you? What are some of the things that makes you just want to kiss your teeth and can't bother? What are some of the things that just get you vexed and you just feel like we not even would have got in today? What are some of the things that demotivates you? So just unmute and tell me quickly, what are some of the things that just demotivates you?
Poor leadership.
Leadership, you said? Repeat that for me.
Please.
Leadership.
Leadership.
Leadership. Okay, all right. Thank you very much for sharing. Anyone else?
She said poor leadership. P-O-O-R. Poor leadership.
Yes,
That's right.
Thank you very much for that. Poor leadership. All right. Anyone else?
A lack of communication between teachers.
Lack of communication. Can I add in effective communication?
Yes, please.
All right, lack of effective communication. What else?
I would say feedback for communication. You communicate, but you don't get feedback, and that really gets me upset.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. That would definitely get anyone upset. Anything else? We have poor leadership, lack of effective communication, little or no feedback.
Negative.
Sorry, Lisa, go ahead.
It's probably the same thing you were going to say. We've talked about this. Negativity, right? Is that what you're going to say?
And I was going to talk especially about negativity from above, like in politics. I can't speak for Lisa, but in my province, we are dealing with a government that is extremely down on teachers and attacks us very openly in the media.
Explain a little bit more about that, Monique. Give us an example.
Well, our government does have a feeling that teachers here are paid far too much for what they do. They don't trust us as professionals to use our own judgment. They have created and pushed upon us a curriculum that is totally inappropriate and unacceptable. And when teachers are pushing back, they accuse us of using our union and hiding behind our union, and we obviously don't have kids' best interests in mind, and we're just playing politics, and we're being accused of trying to indoctrinate students and things like that. It's hard to hear that from your employer day after day.
All right, thank you very much for sharing, Monique. Lisa, you were saying something?
No, I was saying very similar to Monique. Our situation isn't quite the same, but there is sometimes negativity comes in different places, right? It can certainly come from the government, but then it can circulate in the school, and it is tricky to stay positive when you've got some people who are bringing you down, right? But that's why we're here, to learn about motivation and staying positive.
All right, wonderful. Anyone else would like to share?
If I can just add, I think that without maybe meaning it, I think sometimes teachers can demotivate each other. I think that if we treat our colleagues like, you know, we watch that person who walks in right at 8:15 and leaves right at 8:30, and you know, and they don't coach any teams, and we're the ones who do all of the clubs, or you walk into somebody's room and they have the same posters they've had for 5 years, whereas somebody else always decorates with the latest colors and things like that. So I think sometimes teachers need to be careful that we aren't accidentally demotivating our colleagues as well.
Oh yes, that's a solid point. That is a solid point. And that's why we have to ensure that we work together. It's not a competition, but we work together as colleagues for the betterment of the system, the betterment of the students as well. And I have some here. I have lack of resources. These are some of the things that demotivates us as teachers or educators. Lack of human resources, financial resources. There's certain things that we need within our classroom. And I'm sure some of you teachers can attest to that fact. If you agree, just say amen. But I know from my school, there's some resources that we need and they are lacking, right? And sometimes it can really demotivate you. lack of parental support. Because a lot of times it would seem as if we are both the teacher and the parent and the everything. Parents are not supporting us, even with the simple task of ensuring that your child does the homework. The lack of parental support, lack of encouragement, as we were saying earlier, lack of administrative support. And I think this goes back to what a colleague shared earlier about poor leadership, right? Sometimes we are demotivated by the lazy attitude or behaviors from the students, or the don't care attitude, you know. And sometimes the behavioral issues would not sometimes demotivates us. We don't even feel as if, boy, I can't face that child today. And as I know, as I'm speaking, some of you are picturing that child. And whether it's online or whether it's face to face, there is that child or children that kind of rubs us the wrong way or keeps us on our toes. But you know, the funny thing about it, the flip side is when that child is not there, the class is so different and you sort of miss them. So even though sometimes their behavior can be really disruptive and demotivates us, in a sense, we can turn it to motivate us by trying to find out what's happening with that child and help them to integrate well with others in the classroom. Societal pressures as well. Society is pressuring us for a lot of things, and that could demotivate us. And even the use of the platform that we have now, the online platform, it was new for a lot of us, and for a lot of us, it was frustrating. For some of us, we didn't even know how to use a computer, much less to be on Teams and, you know, having to learn how to share a screen and to present and turn on the volume and all of these things. And I know for a lot of us, it was really a frustrating and overwhelming period. And, you know, at that point, you had to learn it. It was like drop in your lap and you just had to get on board. You had to adjust and you had to adapt. And there were periods where you just were demotivated. So you would prefer to do it on WhatsApp, or you would prefer to try to do it on Zoom or something else. But look where you are today. And if you have made it through what a rough period that was, and you are still here, then you can make it tomorrow, the day after, and Monday morning and beyond. And I have here 8 reasons you could be demotivated as an individual. But before I share my 8 reasons, Monique is going to chip in and she's going to share about 2 other factors that are important to us as educators, and some have to do with demotivation as well. So go ahead, Monique.
Thank you. I did mention already about how we as teachers might demotivate each other, but there were a couple of things that I did want to add. One of the things I would like to mention is the way that, and I appreciated everything that Ms. Cumberbatch said at the beginning about, yes, we are nurturers and we bring about this knowledge and we support all of these things. But at the same time, you also need to live and you need to make a living and you need to keep a roof over your head and over your family's head. And we are seeing, one of the things I do at my school is bargain for collective agreements. And we are seeing an awful lot of, I guess, guilting of teachers for wanting good pay and good working conditions. And one thing that we often see is this little saying that goes around that teachers are in it for the outcome, not the income, which is great, except I'm not really sure how productive we can be as teachers if we are worried about our pay and our working conditions. And being made to feel that by advocating for yourself or for your colleagues means that you're not in it for the right reasons can be extremely demoralizing. Don't let that get you down. I think that's something that really tends to bring people down. The other idea, or the other thing I wanted to address, is the idea of burnout. We are doing more and more these days with less and less. I know in Canada last year, we went back and forth from in school to online, to in school, to some kids online, to some teachers online, to everybody online, back to school. In addition to trying to cover our curricular outcomes, which is our job, we were also keeping an eye out on student mental health, student well-being. Our government and our administrators asked us to keep an eye out for students who may be in really negative or abusive situations. A lot of teachers dealt with kids, their own children who were struggling with mental health or anxiety issues. A number of teachers dealt with spouses who were out of work because everything was being shut down. And all of that eventually burns a person out. And we noticed that people were more tired. We were feeling June tired by October. I think we all know what June tired means. And we were feeling that by October. People were snappy. People had temper flare-ups. It was rough, and it's because of burnout. And if it gets to the point where you are burned out, there's almost nothing you can do other than take a big step back and really take some time for yourself. How do we deal with these pressures before they lead to burnout? I think is a question that we need to ask ourselves, and that we are talking about over the course of this presentation, because one of the big contributors to burnout is this constant demotivation, feeling like you're not doing enough, or you're not good enough, or you just can't win in any kind of situation. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Monique, for those salient points. And I will continue with 8 reasons that we could be demotivated, not just as teachers, but as individuals. And the first one is you're working without a purpose. The biggest reason why someone may be feeling demotivated is that they are living their lives without goals or an intent. You must, in everything, you must have a goal, and there must be some form of intent in what you are doing. Because you could look at teaching as a job or a calling. Every profession, I believe, is a calling. And teachers are definitely not exempt. If it's just a job, it's just something that you do, and it could just be for the income, just to get by, or you just want something to do. So it's just a job. But if it's a calling, even though you may become overwhelmed, frustrated, anxious at certain points, you will always find that encouragement within to pull yourself together and to continue to forge forward and to reach your particular goal. So you are working without a purpose. That's why some persons are demotivated. If you're living a life without purpose, you are bound to go through the motions like a seesaw, up today, down tomorrow, without any sense of direction, feeling as though you are doing things simply for the sake of doing them, as I said before. So when you have a life plan and you are passionate about it, you will feel motivated in all areas of your life, and you will quickly get back on your feet. So are you working with a purpose as a teacher? Do you have your goals? That's it. Is it a job, just a job for you, or is it a calling? The second one that I have is fear. And even in fear, when we look at it, the first thing that you have to take note of is the fact that you're putting off progress because you're afraid of a certain outcome. So for example, with the online platform, you may be a bit hesitant in learning all the aspects of it because you are afraid. So you have to ask yourself, what are you afraid of? Are you afraid of failure? Are you afraid that others might see you as a failure? What is it that you are fearful of? Because your fear demotivates you. So it is important for you to ask yourself what you are afraid of hearing in relation to your situation and whether or not that fear should really be stopping you from moving forward. And somebody mentioned before their health. Is the fear, are you fearful? And I know a lot of us, this is a really ticklish spot. You're fearful for your own health. But is it so much fearful? Is it that you're so fearful for your health that you don't see yourself going back to school face to face? If it is that you have to go back to school face to face. It is quite normal for us to want to protect our health. Our health is very important, especially our mental health. But there are things that you can do to protect your mental health and still work. There are things that you can do to protect your physical health and still work, like sanitizing, wearing the mask, and so forth. And for your mental health, you have to be positive and keep encouraging yourself and so forth. So don't let fear demotivate you. You can do this. You've got this because God's got you. Number 3, you're doing things for the wrong reason. So your lack of motivation may be a direct result of what you are doing and why you are doing it. So ask yourself, is everything I do done for the right reasons? What are the reasons why you're doing what you're doing as a teacher? Say, for example, that you're currently working a job that pays well. We know the teaching job doesn't really pay well, right? But so the job pays well, but isn't fulfilling. You know you are working for the financial stability, and this keeps you there, but it is not truly what you want to do. This slowly wears you down. It will slowly wear you down physically and mentally because the position provides no purpose for you. So are the things that you're doing, are you doing them for the right reason? You can become demotivated when you're overwhelmed. Sometimes we take a lot on, a lot of work, and we don't even get to achieve much during the day. But when you take too much on, you stretch yourself too thin, and then you can become burnt out rather quickly. And this is what Monique was talking about earlier. You have to pace yourself. You have to timetable yourself, because remember, you don't only have the students, you know, you have yourself and you have your family. At the end of the day, you're coming home to your family. And even if you're single, at the end of the day, you are coming home to yourself. You have to take care of yourself. So don't stretch yourself too thin, you'll become burnt out. Being able to get through your day without feeling stressed and pressured for time, it goes a long way in helping you to keep your purpose and motivation intact. If you're feeling overwhelmed, it is important that you learn better time management skills and more about your limitations in order to craft a better schedule for yourself immediately. And this other one that can demotivate you is self-sabotage. When you basically think that you don't have what it takes. Or perhaps you think that other persons think that you don't have what it takes. And you're not capable of achieving or adjusting and adapting to the times and what's happening in the times. So you just say, man, I can't do that, and I fed up, and that's my thing. That is self-sabotage, and that is actually preventing you from moving forward, from preventing you from your own progress, and it demotivates you. And it also stunts your growth because there is greatness in you. But you have to activate that greatness. So you have to ask yourself, why do I feel that I'm not capable of what it is that I seek or what is asked of me? Or if it is the other way around, why do I feel as though others don't think that I am capable? And you can sit down and write down a list of your accomplishments, the things that you're good at, skills and strengths. Because once you see them written down, you can easily begin to see your own value. And that itself will boost that confidence that you need, that self-confidence that you need to push forward. Number 6, you believe you should have accomplished more by now. So you're a veteran in the system and you believe, you're looking back in the years and you're saying to yourself, you're feeling so demotivated because I have been in the system for 30 years. And I hear earlier we were giving out awards for those who have been long in the service. I've been in service for 30 years. I should have been a principal by now. Or I am stuck at a particular grade or a particular form and I have not moved up. We put a lot of pressure on ourselves when we think that we haven't accomplished enough at a particular stage in our life. And it can be easy to get into this state of mind, you know. But the past is the past. And the only thing you are in control of is actually the present and the future. So when you allow yourself to indulge in the past and indulge too much, you fall into the habit of giving up and going through the motions because you're entertaining all these negative thoughts. And this habit actually strips you of motivation and it prevents you from making any progress whatsoever. Number 7, a habit of not doing anything. Listen, there are some people who are just good at doing nothing on a daily basis. And even though they have plenty tasks and potential, they choose to do nothing simply because they don't feel like it. And when they finally sit down to take responsibility and move forward, they wonder why they feel demotivated and have such difficulty getting things done. The truth is that getting your life together is hard. You're going to have to do a lot of things you don't enjoy to get back on track and to live the life you want. So teachers for work, show up, whether it's online or it's whatever format, show up. I normally say dress up, show up, turn up, and do what you must in order to get what you want. And the last one I have on this is you're settling and refusing to put your own limits. Sometimes we can be our own hindrance. We become complacent and we become comfortable in a particular area. And then when we see others progressing and they're motivated and they're moving forward, we feel away, as we would say in our colloquial parlance. You feel away. But but you have to step out of that realm and you have to push your limits. Set certain goals and you push, and when you reach those goals, you set another limit and you keep going forward. There are times that sometimes you might feel a little bit lazy or tired, you know, but it is up to you to hold yourself accountable. If you can make it happen, it is up to you to make sure that you follow through. As a teacher, and I love this, I found this online and I loved it one time because it really encapsulates what a teacher is. It says, I am a counselor and psychologist to a problem-filled child. I am a police officer that controls a child gone wild. I am a travel agent scheduling our trips for the year. I am a confidant that wipes a crying child's tear. I am a banker collecting money for a ton of different things. I'm a librarian showing adventures that a storybook brings. I am a custodian that has to clean certain little messes. I am a psychic that learns to know all that everybody only guesses. I'm a photographer keeping pictures of a child's yearly growth. When mother and father are gone for the day, I become both. I am a doctor that detects when a child is feeling sick. I'm a politician that must know the laws and recognize a trick. I am a party planner for holidays to celebrate with all. I am a decorator of a room, filling every wall. I am a news reporter updating on our nation's current events. I am a detective solving small mysteries and ending all suspense. I am a clown and comedian that makes the children laugh. I am a dietitian assuring they have lunch, or from mine, I give them half. When we seem to stray from values, I become a preacher. But I'm proud to have to be these people because I'm proud to say I am a teacher. And I am proud to say that teachers are great persons. So we are here this afternoon just to encourage you, to motivate you as teachers to continue to do the work that you are doing. And there is this video that Lisa is going to show at this point that shows how important your work is and how children view you in their eyes. Go ahead, Lisa.
I'm going to see if I can. We're not as familiar with Zoom as you are. We actually use a different program at school, and so I'm not entirely sure. Do you happen to have that video? Or Monique, would you be able to?
Monique, see if you would be able to get that video.
Yeah, let me just look in my email really quick.
I can just share it with you again right now if you'd like. I'm sorry. Let me see. As I said, I'm not as familiar with Zoom, and we'll see if I can pull it up first.
All right, so while you're looking for that, I will just share a bit about what motivation is.
I have it ready. I can share my screen.
Have it ready? Okay, go ahead.
Thank you, Monique.
believe in me? Do you believe in me? Do you believe that I can stand up here fearless and talk to over 20,000 of you? Hey, Charles Rice Learning Center, do you believe in me? Come on, I can't hear you. That's right, they do. Because here's the deal. I can do anything, be anything, create anything, dream anything, become anything. Because you believe in me. And it rubs off on me. Let me ask you a question, Dallas ISD. Do you believe in my classmates? Do you believe that every single one of us can graduate ready for college or the workplace? You better, because next week we're all showing up in your schools. All 157,000 of us. And what we need from you is to believe that we can reach our highest potential. No matter where we come from, whether it's sunny South Dallas, whether it's Pleasant Grove, whether it's Oakland, Dallas, or West Dallas, or wherever, you better not give up on us. No, you better not. Because, as you know, in some cases, you're all we've got. You're the ones who feed us, who wipe our tears, who hold our hands or hug us when we need it. You're the ones who love us when sometimes it feels like no one else does. And when we need it the most, don't give up on my classmates. Do you believe in your colleagues? Do you? I hope so, because they came to your school because they wanted to make a difference too. Believe in them, trust them, and lean on them when times get tough. We all know we kids can sometimes make it tough. Am I right? Can I get a amen? So whether you're a counselor or a librarian, a teacher assistant, or work in the front office, whether you serve up meals in the cafeteria, my favorite, or help keep the halls clean, or whether you're a teacher believe in you? Do you believe in yourself? Do you believe that what you're doing is shaping not just my generation, but that of my children and my children's children? There's probably easier ways to make a living, but I want to tell you on behalf of all the students in Dallas, we need you. We need you now more than ever. Believe in yourself. Finally, do you believe that every child in Dallas needs to be ready for college or the workplace? Do you believe that Dallas students can achieve? We need you, ladies and gentlemen. We need you to know that what you're doing is the most important job in the city today. We need you to believe in us, in your colleagues, in yourselves, and in our goals. If you don't believe, well, I'm not going there. I want to thank you for what you do for me and for so many others. Do you believe in me? Because I believe in me, and you've helped me get to where I am today. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Ms. Cumberbatch, you're muted.
Yeah, you're muted.
All right, can you hear me now?
Yes, we are hearing you.
All right, wonderful. Yes, I was saying that that video reminds me of children who, you know, you would have helped along the way. And you would see them now, you would see them as they pull the van door to let you in, and they greet you with a smile, and they take your bags from you. You would see them in the bank. They would be the one that, you know, you're doing your transaction with. You would see them in the grocery stores. You would see them when you enter your doctor's office as the secretary or as the doctor, as the lawyer. And some of them even say they want to become a teacher. You would see them at Teachers College, if we're that old. If you see them at Teachers College, and they just make you feel proud. You know, and especially when they say, Miss, you know that you made a difference in my life. There is no form of money that could be given that could compensate to know that you have truly added value. You have caused change in someone's life for the better. And in counselor's case, save lives. You know, I mean, it's a great feeling. And just continue to do what you are doing. Motivation is a process that initiates, guides, and maintains goal-oriented behaviors. It is what causes us to act, whether it is getting a glass of water to reduce thirst or reading a book, as simple as that, to gain knowledge. It involves the biological, emotional, social, and cognitive forces that activate our behavior. So everything you need is already within you, deposited inside of you. And there are two types of motivation. You have intrinsic motivation, you have extrinsic motivation. So the intrinsic motivation is when you're motivated from within, internal factors that meet your personal needs. And when you do things, when you're intrinsically motivated, you do things because you enjoy them and because you want to do them, right? Not because you have to, but you find pleasure in it. The other day, somebody was saying, I couldn't tell when last somebody said that they love their job. And I held up my hand and I said, I love my job. And they looked at me straight. I said, no, I love my job. Because I have to love what I am doing, because that would motivate me to, when there are days when I don't feel like getting out of bed, just staying home with my children or cuddling up with my husband. But that motivates me to, you know, there are some faces that are there waiting to see Mrs. Cumberbatch. I mean, they can't hug and thing, you know, but you know, that motivates you and that gets you going. And then there is extrinsic motivation, right? And this one comes from external factors that are given or controlled by others. Example, so you're doing a job because there is actually nothing else left to do, so I'm doing this job. And I have my monthly obligations to meet, so I'm doing this job. So while we may be motivated intrinsically and extrinsically, it is important to understand that there should be a greater level of intrinsic motivation than extrinsic. So even though we are getting paid extrinsic motivation, it should be more intrinsic. It should be because this is my passion, this is my calling, this is my desire, right? So I ask you today, is your motivation guided by intrinsic or extrinsic motivation, or both? Is it intrinsic, extrinsic, or both? And the reality is, you see, from the moment you rise, when you wake in the morning and you take that air in, when you breathe in oxygen and you realize you are alive and well and you're on the land of the living, from the moment you rise until the day is done, you set the motivational tone in your day by the use of your 5 senses. So what do you view in the morning? What do you see in the morning? Do you read your Bible in the morning, or do you read an encouraging quote in the morning? What do you view in the morning to motivate you? What do you listen to in the morning? For me, when I'm driving to work, I stop listening to the radio. One reason, because I realize that some of the topics that they're talking about and their tone coming off a little bit aggressive and too much quarrelsome in the morning. For me, I realize that unconsciously, it would affect me in the day. You know, so I make sure that I have my CD or I have my own music and I listen to my music when I'm going to work. So what do you listen to in the morning? You could listen to some inspirational music, some inspirational song on the radio, or you could sing your own melody. You could sing your own melody in the shower that suits you. What do you smell? It is always good to have scented candles or aroma that helps you to come to a state where you are calm. What do you want to taste of? Because at the end of the day, you should reward yourself. And what do you feel in the morning? Do you get a nice hug or embrace from a family member or a loved one? How you begin your day motivates you throughout the rest of the day. And I also believe as you go throughout the day, or as you rise in the morning and you get your motivation on, you ensure that you dress to impress. And especially when you're feeling down and you're feeling overwhelmed, guys, dress up, put on your long sleeve shirt, take out that nice cologne that you have in the grip, spray it up. Ladies, put on your lipstick, although you might not be able to show it off because you're under mask. You could take a picture in the morning. You put on your makeup, you put in your earring, you put on your nice clothes, and it naturally boosts your self-confidence, you know, and it brings pleasure to others. Because throughout the day, they would say, Miss, I like your earring. Miss, you look nice today. And that helps to motivate you. And at the close of each work day, you should unwind. You can unwind by watching a movie, taking a long bath, watching football or cricket. The West Indies would have our hearts, you know, in a frenzy, or listen music, or do some drawing or art and craft, but do something to unwind each day. And we are living in some really tough times. And I just have a few more slides before I close my presentation. And I'm just gonna give you a few things tools that I believe will help you to survive these tough times. And the first one, you have to be positive. In all things, be positive or find something optimistic. Be optimistic. Tough times won't last, you know. Tough people do. If God cares about the sparrow, how much so us he cares much more about me and you. Corona is a cross, but it won't last. Number two, remain calm and level-headed. Stay cool, no man. And I'm going to share that audio with you at the end of the presentation, and I'm sure you will enjoy it. So you have to be positive, remain calm and level-headed, accept support from others, family members, other teachers, other colleagues, and make sure that you find an accountability person, somebody that you can talk to about your concerns, somebody that you trust, and that person will listen, not to gossip or comments, but to help you. And if you find that it's a bit overwhelming and it might be too much for your accountability person or your family or friends, seek professional help. That's what counselors are there for. And if you want to speak to your pastor, do that as well. Number 5, choose your battles. Choose your battles. There are some things that we can control and there are other things that we can't control. So you cannot control the fact that Corona is widespread all over the world. But what you can control is protecting yourself and others. So you follow the necessary protocols in order to maintain that. Find an outlet for relaxation. And this goes back to unwinding, but there are other things that you can do, like deep breathing, meditation, and so forth. Then be a leader and not a follower. Never, ever quit. There's an adage that says, if you can't fly, run. If you can't run, walk. If you can't walk, crawl. Never give up. Teachers, never give up. Number 9, keep the faith. Keep the faith in God that He is able, that nothing happens outside of His will, that if He brings you to it, He will bring you through it. If He calms the seas, He can calm those troubled seas in your mind as well. Keep the faith. And number 10, protect your mental space. Filter what and who comes in and out, especially in a time like this. It is best that you get information from the relevant authorities. Not every news article is supposed to be reading, because it will only send you in a frenzy and heighten your fear and cause you to become off balance, and this will affect you not only mentally, but physically. So protect your mental space and filter what comes in and who comes into your space as well, right? And I remember when Corona just came out and, you know, we were all very concerned. There were so many different emotions happening, just like the emotional weather chart. And I wrote this song with another colleague of mine, and it is called Stay Cool, No Man. So I'm going to play it for you at this moment. And I want you to listen attentively to the words.
Shakira, are you hearing me?
Hi. Are you guys hearing the audio?
No, we were not hearing it for a sec. We actually hearing you now.
Okay. Were you guys hearing the audio?
Yeah, yes, we will. Yeah. Just right at the end we were not, but we know we're not. You're actually playing an audio.
Yes. Are you hearing the audio?
No, we're not. We're not.
Oh, let me try to work that out. What was the last thing that you heard me say? Let me ask that, see where I was.
You were just presenting it. You were getting ready to share it.
Oh, okay.
But we couldn't actually hear the song. I'm wondering if I can find it and even just hold it up to.
Okay, see if you can, because I sent it to you, right? See if you can find it, because I was trying to play it from my laptop, but I'm not sure what's happening.
So while we're waiting on that, I just like members to know we're actually running a poll in terms of which branch are you from. We had some glitches in the beginning. We had omitted North Windward. Eventually we got that in, North Windward in. So members, if you have not voted or say which branch you're from, just click on the section that you see poll at the bottom of your screen and click on the poll, which branch are you from? And just let us know. Let us know how many people we have from which branch and all of that. And North Windward seems to be winning this battle. They have 28% of the persons who have voted so far are from North Windward. So Shakira, how are you going there with the audio?
Let me check. Lisa, you getting through with it?
Yeah, I think so. I found it, so I'm going to give it a try. Okay. I'm just going to hold it up, okay?
Stay Cool by Chikeria Cumberbatch and Annalita Dublin. Stay cool, no man. Stay cool. This world can be such a scary place with all kind of pressures right up in your face, but stay cool, no man. Stay cool. Corona come upon this blessed island, and like a tornado, one mash up with plans, but stay cool, no man. Stay cool. cause headache, dizziness, confusion, all kind of negative thought come to hand, nightmare, cold sweat, trembling hand. This thing just come to wreck the inner man, but stay cool, no man. Stay cool. Stay at home and maintain social distancing. Me can't hang with my friend. What a boring thing. Stay cool, no man. Stay cool. Don't you know that the mind is a powerful thing? Be anxious for nothing but pray for everything. Amidst all the trial and tribulation, remember that God still has a plan. Take all your worries to God, you can look. Read the Holy Bible, the bestseller book. Pray for your family, country, and school. That will help you to keep calm and stay cool. So stay cool, no man. Stay cool. Take deep breaths, relax, count 1 to 10. Listen your favorite song and dance to the rhythm. Imagine yourself at your favorite spot. Could be swimming by the beach, playing ball games, or cooking a pot. Taking a hike, riding a bike, going for a drive to take in the sight. Now when you think of it, it put a smile on your face. Just take things slowly, at your own pace, and stay cool, no man. Stay cool. So for your safety, protection, security, follow the instructions, help give to we. Stay at home, wash your hands, sanitize properly. Keep yourself busy with activities, family games, exercise, online class. Keep your mind sharp for when school restart. Read a book, learn to cook, and eat healthy. Corona now fi come stress. All our if we stay cool, no man. Stay cool. This is only for a time, so just relax your mind. Yes, Corona is a cross, but it not go last, so stay cool, no man. Stay cool. Stay cool, no man. Stay cool.
All right. And that is the end of our presentation for this afternoon. If you have any questions or comments, feel free at this point to ask or to share. Over to you, Mr. White.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Shakira, for such a great presentation. I think it was a very dynamic presentation, with different elements to it. And so I'm checking the chat to see if we have any questions. Right now it's 8:25. I'm sorry, 7:25. We're scheduled to finish at 8 o'clock. I don't, let me see the chat. Some people are saying that they love the rap.
Thank you.
it was a nice song. Maybe person may not have questions now. Lisa, Monique, I don't know if you guys wanna, you're gonna add to what Shakira.
I just really wanted to thank Shakira and everybody for letting us join you. Monique and I started back at school, I think, a little earlier than you have. I believe, if I'm correct, you start next week. And we're into our 3rd week. And this motivation is so good for everybody. And I think just stepping back into the school or going back online, it does calm the fears, and looking at the children and seeing their smiles, and they're just so excited so excited to see us and to see you, and it just really makes everything worthwhile.
I would agree with Lisa. I actually went back to school at the end of August, so I've been in school now for almost 6 weeks, and it's been already a pretty exciting 6 weeks, but really all you can do is put one foot in front of the other, because that's the only way we're going to get through anything, right? Thank you very much for having me here tonight.
It was definitely a pleasure. It was definitely a pleasure having you. So, guys, do we have any questions? I mean, we've been home here in St. Vincent. Last school year was a kind of up and down for us. Being with COVID, being in and out of school, and then with the volcanic eruption, we had disruptions there again. I am kind of, it's been a long summer. It's been a very, very long summer. To some extent, I'm excited to go back to school. The only thing is that there is still a lot of uncertainty as to which format. Are we going to be online? Are we going to be in class? I mean, right now, everyone is saying, I mean, the Ministry of Education, they have not said anything in terms of whether definitively whether or not we're going to be back in the classrooms or online. So most teachers, I think they have those concerns. They so getting mentally ready to go back, I know it has been a bit stressful for some teachers in terms of exactly not knowing for sure, because by Friday or by Sunday we may hear something different, and but I'm ready to see the kids. I'm excited to be. I actually want to be back in the classroom. That is where I want to be. I want to actually be back in the classrooms. I don't know what other teachers are feeling, but I definitely want to be back in the classrooms in whatever format, whether it's a shift system. I don't know what it's going to be until we get this whole thing with the pandemic to some, at least until we get it on a bit more under control. But it was a very good presentation today. We actually, somebody said it was a great presentation. Indira Derek, Kadeem Butler, she also said it was a very, very good presentation. I don't know. It doesn't seem anyone has any questions that they want to ask any of the presenters, whether Shakira, Lisa.
Mr. Oswald Robinson, the president's hand is raised.
Sorry, I wasn't seeing that.
Okay.
Robbie, how you doing?
Yes, my brother. I'm not doing the vote of thanks, but I cannot allow my presenters just to go away without the president's speak from the heart to say how much we do appreciate Monique Wilson from CTF, our own Shakira Kamabat here, and we also have Lisa Aldrich, The CTF and the teachers union, we go a long way, a very long way, and your presence here again clearly demonstrates our commitment to quality education and enhancing the competencies of our teachers. And so we want to ask you to convey our great appreciation to you, to CTF again, and all your colleagues. We had West Devs last week, did a great job. I mean, last time, when I say last week, I meant the last presentation. And our own brother Abdan here done a great hosting of the program. And we know for sure that the majority of our teachers here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, they are intrinsically motivated There's not much on the external that would motivate our teachers to really. It's not easy, especially now. COVID, the last affair, we have had a hurricane that impacted some Caribbean islands, and we got part of it. And still, our teachers remain committed and dedicated. In the height of all these events, teachers were still going to the shelters and managing shelters, and Abdan just said it. They really, and I would coin it as a form of teacher-student isolation. It's a form of depression teachers are encountering now by not being so face-to-face with their students. We love our children so much, you know. And as I did a presentation yesterday to demonstrate the professionalism of teachers and how much, and one of the quotations says that what a teacher writes on the blackboard of life cannot be erased. It brings out the awesome responsibility of our teachers and how much we love our teachers. And that's why the Teachers Union will continue to share this platform with the CTF, the Ministry of Education, or wherever educators are, to continue to upgrade, retool our teachers so that they will continue to remain relevant even in challenging times. So really, thank you very much for the presentation. We look forward that we would be able to call on you again at some time soon. You know, CTF is great. The Ministry of Education and the Teachers Union, CTF, we have done this workshop for many, many years. And despite the challenges, it's good that we could do it virtually. So I am saying hats off to you, the presenters, and all the participants who did a great job. You know, you did a marvelous job, and we're very happy. I know Brother John, the course director there, has done a wonderful job, and his hand is up. He's a man of very few words, but you're going to hear from him. I'm done.
Thank you very much, Robbie. It's always good. It's always good to hear from you. I see Andrew has his hand raised, so I'm just going to bring in Andrew here one time. Andrew.
Yes, thank you very much, Abdan. And as I am agreeing with the president, with Brother President, that you have been really coming into your own hosting this program. Right? We still have a way to go. I want to thank everybody for being a part of it. I really like the spirit of the presenters. When I contacted Shakira, she was really willing and ready, raring to go. And I really appreciate her taking on the challenge. And I think she really did a good job. I must also commend the Canadians. I know we had short notice for them to be part of this program because, as Westdale would have said, they came back. Some of them came on back late from vacation and so on. So I want to also commend Lisa and Monique for doing a great job tonight. All right, we will continue with the program. The next set, I think the next program would be on leadership. So I'm encouraging those persons who are here tonight to even bring some more of your colleagues on board and let us continue to enjoy and learn from these sessions. I think it's really a great job, a great idea that the executive came up with to do this online workshop. And I'm really, really pleased to be part of it. So thank you very much once again.
Thank you very much, Andrew. Thank you for those kind words. I'm not seeing any more hands raised. I'm just gonna leave before I give the vote of thanks. Any final words from you guys? Anything?
I'm looking for my raised hand. This is Mrs. Gittins. I'm looking for my raised hand, but I couldn't find it. So before you want to thanks, I just want to say an excellent presentation, and I just want to say that I just want to encourage us as teachers. I know I said that I'm hopeful because of my weather emotion, hopeful to know that one day, I hope very soon, that the pandemic will end. I know that people say the pandemic is everywhere, but Jesus is everywhere. And if we put our hope and trust in him, that's enough hope. I just want to say for teachers, you know, sometimes, even though we are hopeful, we feel so depressed. We do not know what tomorrow holds for us. We do not know what platform we would be taking when school reopens. We don't even sure when school will be reopening, but we hope and we trust, even though we feel depressed at times. I really would love to go back into the classroom. That's where I think for kindergarten and grade 1, grade 2, learning should be. For students, that's why we have school, but we are forced to be at home and it's depressing sometimes at home because we want to meet our children. We want to do multisensory activities with our children, hands-on experience with our children so that they can grow holistically. And we don't have the opportunity. Online, we don't have enough time to do that. And you have to rest your eyes and stuff like that. But I just want to still hope and trust. And I'm just encouraging us as teachers to hold the faith. And even though we are depressed, as Ms. Cumberbatch was saying, we find place and times where we can be resilient, we can encourage our own self, find things that keep us from being depressed, whether it's to do our hair, whether it's to do a pedicure, whether it's to take our family to the beach, whether it's go to exercise, whatever way we can use to make ourselves energized, whatever we need to do to make ourselves energized, what makes us happy, we need to use that so that we can not be in this depressed state, but stay hopeful. And I just want to thank everybody tonight. Thank you.
Can you ask the question again?
Thank you very much. Someone was saying something. Anyone else who wants to? I think we have a question there. Hold on, let me check the chat. I'm seeing a question.
Yes, I think you can ask the question. What is the best way to motivate children who seem to have lost their zeal for learning?
I don't know who wants to answer that question.
Right. For me, I would say if they've lost their zeal, that means that they once had it. So there is a reason why they lost it, and we would have to get to the root cause of that. And once you get to the root cause of that, then we would be able to work from there in helping them to achieve that zeal again. So there might be more underneath the surface that we're not aware of.
Okay, Monique, I saw that you gave a worded response. I don't know if you wanna add to what Shakira was saying.
I did, because I'm dealing with quite a few students like that who, I taught them a few years ago in an earlier grade, and now I have them and they're totally different children. And I think that we're all dealing with something collectively that really most of us have no scope of before. This is not something that we have dealt with on this large of a scale. And I think all we can do is be patient with those kids, just like we're being patient with ourselves. And we have to meet them where they are. So I teach a very academic English program, and my colleague and I have decided that this year we need to scale it way back because we just don't have kids who have the bandwidth to do all of the things that we usually expect them to do. So how can we change things so that our outcomes are still being met, our kids are still being prepared for the next year, but we're also not making them needlessly miserable by piling stuff on top of all of the other things that they are dealing with. So how can we demonstrate that patience? How can we be kind to our kids and to ourselves? And I 100% agree with Ms. Cumberbatch when we say if a child lost their zeal, then at some point they had it. Now, for some of our kids, there could be other issues as to why they've lost it. I had a student last year whose parents not only split up, but his mom took out a restraining order against his dad. So it was pretty traumatic for him in the home. And we just decided as a group, you know what, every day that you show up and you participate in class and you get something turned in is a good day. That is what success looks like for you right now. And when we can deal with those root causes, then we can start to move past it. right? And so for so many of our kids, this stress that we're all dealing with is the root cause, right? It's certainly the root cause for me. I can't speak for my colleagues, but I know that I've had trouble getting myself excited about some of the things I'm doing because I'm tired and I'm freaked out and I'm stressed out. And I'm a grown-up. So how are 12-year-olds supposed to manage this, right? Or 8-year-olds? Somebody posted a thing online the other day that for a student in grade 7 who's 12 years old, their last normal year of school was when they were 9. Because we've had so much disruption for so long. If you have a student in grade 1 who's 6 years old, their last normal year of school was never. They don't know what normal school looks like, right? So I think we just need to cut ourselves a break and cut our kids a break and just do what we can to support ourselves and to support our kids. And hopefully at some point we will come out the other side stronger, if that makes sense.
Most definitely. Most definitely. And just to add, you know, the Return to Happiness program that was rolled out in many of our shelters across St. Vincent and the Grenadines. That was mainly for children who were living in the shelter, who moved to the shelters, and we had to have that program. But what I realized is that all students need that Return to Happiness program as well. So I made sure to put that as a part of my term plan. But that's plan A, if you know, because there's still uncertainty with the format that school would be in. But that would definitely be instrumental for them as well, because sometimes we think that, oh, the children, they're just returning to school, they'll be quite fine, we're adults, we are the only ones who are stressing, but they stress. And they, especially with the volcanic eruption, they were very fearful, because I'm ensured that I checked in with the students. Some of them were fearful, they were crying, they ran under the bed, they had to change their sleeping area, so they no longer sleep by themselves, but they sleep with their parents, all of that. So it has really shaken them as well. So we as counselors have to work with the teachers to help them to return to happiness. So it's not just returning to school to get them academically ready. We have to ensure that they're mentally ready, they're emotionally ready, they're psychologically ready as well. Because you will have a lot of disruptions in the classroom for them, and even for them to become comfortable and acclimatize back into the school setting once again. So it's a lot of work that we have to do, and I agree with Monique, we just have to take it one step at a time, one breath at a time, but together we can. Not in isolation, but together we can and we will.
Thank you very much. Lisa, I don't know if you could chime in on this one. What I want to ask, I mean, very often you hear teachers, especially the older teachers, they would normally say, listen, back in the day, we used to have children who really cared a lot about this, or who studied, who did their homework. And very often, especially now, you teachers plan, they go into the classrooms, they give their lessons, they give homework, they do all that they need to do. And for some reason, sometimes you have some students who they just do not care. How do you, as a teacher, as a teacher, how can a teacher still be motivated to get up every day, go to work, knowing that sometimes, listen, we have some students who just do not care? How do we deal with those situations? I mean, any one of you guys could chime in. I'm asking Lisa first, and then you guys could have a go at it.
Well, it's a really great question. It made me think of something that happened today after school, actually. We always dismiss our children into their family's arms. As Monique was saying, I work with the little ones, so this is very much brand new for them. And I had a conversation with another teacher as we were entering the school. And he said to me, I noticed that one of my children has a dog, and now I know what to talk to them about. And I thought, that's right, you know, is we can often get children to begin the conversation, which would eventually lead to reading and to writing, if we can tap into what they need and what's important to them. And if we find those little things, like what are they playing with at recess or after school, or what video games do they like, or what kind of animals do they have at home, and it's always going to be unique to each family, then you can start engaging in a conversation. Once you get that, it is much more, it's easier. It's easier to slowly bring that academics in, because they want to share. They want to be part of it, and they're excited that you are interested as well.
Monique, Shakira, I don't know if you guys wanna have a go at this also. How I as a teacher, how do I keep myself motivated knowing that my students are not giving their best, are not, you know, how do me as a teacher, how do I keep myself motivated?
You know, okay, so I'm doing my master's right now, and a lot of the conversations, because it's mostly teachers that I'm studying with, that we have are, how do we define success? And I work in a very academic environment. So for us, success is, and for a lot of our parents and a lot of our students, success equals marks. But I think that to keep some of those kids motivated, we have to redefine, what does success mean for that child? I have a few kids where success is showing up in the morning, clean, dressed, fed. That is a win for that child, right? Or I have a couple of kids who have some learning challenges. Writing, they can't write and they won't write. So how can I make them successful in an LA in English, where writing is kind of the thing that we do, right? What is success going to look like for that child? And I think that when we reframe our thought process around, is that kid, or is that child not motivated? Or are we expecting motivation to look the same on every single person? Because if we are, then that's an us problem. And that we shouldn't make that a student problem. That's a teacher problem. How are we going to solve that problem and make those kids, or put those kids in a position where they can be successful, right? And that's a challenge I know I've been having for quite a long time, because I've been in an academic environment for so long, and we're very used to feeling the pressure when it comes to marks. But really, maybe the only good thing about this whole pandemic is that it has forced a lot of us older teachers. I know Ms. Cumberbatch was talking about, you know, when you're old and you're set in your ways and you don't want to change or whatever, it's really forced us to rethink our practice and what is a successful practice, and what does success mean for children? And let's extend that to, what does motivation mean for children? Right? For some kids, getting out of bed is enough. That is a win for them, right? Or, you know, I have a couple who are so shy, they are debilitatingly shy to the point that they will cry. Talking to two other people is success for them today. That's what it looks like today, right? So we need to reevaluate. And the other thing too is that success is not static. Success is different every day, and motivation is different every day as well, right? So we can't keep it the same always, right? So this is a good opportunity for us to, you know, why is it that our students don't seem to be motivated? Or is it that we're expecting motivation to look like something else? And they are motivated. We just aren't seeing it because we're not looking for it.
Shakira, I don't know if you want to chime in on this.
just to add my 2 cents, I agree with Lisa and Monique, but I will also say that we need to find out what the child is interested in. And whatever that child is interested in, that will motivate that child to do other things, whether it's football. And that is where it would take a lot out of us as teachers, because remember, each child is different. So you'd have to tailor things for them. And it goes back to resources. It goes back to patience, understanding, time, all of that. But once you get what that child is interested in, so you have to know your students in and out and come down to their level, right? So that's all I have to add.
Okay, thank you very much. So I mean, basically what I gathered from everyone is if a teacher is basically not or being demotivated because the students aren't actually motivated to do their work, we have to fix the part with the students, get them interested in doing the work, get them, once that part of it, then it will solve our part of it. So that's good. I'm not seeing any more questions.
Looking for my hand again, sorry.
Sorry, okay.
I was just thinking as I was here that sometimes the children are not motivated in their own homes. There might be a family breakdown, father not with mommy, children have to go over by daddy, laptop is not over there, have to go over by mommy sometimes. And it creates a problem. It creates a stress for the child. So that child comes to the classroom and the child probably didn't get a good rest. And there may be homes where the children are not disciplined properly. Some of them might be on the tablet. All 11 o'clock in the night, you hear parents say, I come to the classroom to find out if my child's sleeping because the child was on the gadget all 12 o'clock in the night. And these parents need to realize that these gadgets can be very distracting for our children. We say put them online for like half an hour for each subject, but these children, after they don't rest their eyes, they go 11 o'clock in the night, so parents need to do their part as well. The child comes to the classroom, the child is demotivated. The teacher now has to have the extra effort to work with that child, find out what is the problem at home. So I believe that we need a session from the Ministry of Education, even from the teaching union platform, where we can have a session with our parents to teach them or to sensitize them on how they can motivate their children academically. I know some of them might not have the time, but they can find time. They can delegate somebody who would be able to assist their child or children. So it comes back to the child comes to the classroom, the child is already stressed out with the home environment. So now the teacher now has to look at the child, observe the child. Observation is very important, and talk to the child. And then when you get to know the home background of the child, you're able to work with that child, and you see that child will just bounce back, and you wouldn't believe that is that child is now doing his or her work. So I think understanding the home background is very important as well. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. So I pretty much agree with everyone, but as I said, the basic sentiment is fix the child. Once we fix the child, that problem of us being whether motivated or demotivated would work itself out. So let me see the time. I think we are close to the end. We're very close to the end. As I said again, I want to thank everyone who would have participated in this evening's session. Those persons who would have sent in presentation for the branch day session, which started a bit before the lecture series. I want to thank the guys from CTF, all the presenters today, Shakira, Miss Comerbash, Miss Wilson, and Lisa. Thank you guys so much. Trust me, today the presentation was really good. I think our teachers they would have learned a lot from the comments, not only here in the Zoom. Some of our teachers are also following, watching the series on YouTube. I want to thank our president, Mr. Robinson, for being a part of this and sharing his comment. Our IRO, Mr. John, thank you very much. My technical person here, Mr. Conliffe, Ketty is also my Miss Rind. She's also assisting me behind the scenes with everything. So again, but most importantly, I want to thank all of our teachers that joined the session, that stayed the entire session. Remember, teachers who would attend, I believe it's 85% of all the sessions would receive a certificate at the end. We were conducting a poll. I don't know if there are teachers who have not gone, and we're trying to find out which branch are you from, which branch is being represented the most here today. I am about to end that poll. So far, we have some persons have left, but there are a few persons who have not indicated. So we have 90% of the persons participating here today. And it seems like the branch that is represented most here today is the North Windward branch. So guys from North Windward, give yourself a round of applause. The North Windward branch, 24% of the persons here from the North Windward branch. I think the branch that came in second would be the South Windward branch. So the guys on the Windward side, they're definitely here with us this evening. Then we have Central Windward again with 12%, and we have East Kingston with 12%. Southern Grenadines, that's my branch. We didn't do too bad. We came in at 6%. 3 members from the Southern Grenadines, and the branch with the least representation. Let me see. We have the Northern Grenadines and the South Leeward branch. So let's see how we do next week. Guys, again, Monique, Shakira, Lisa, it was a pleasure having you, and we hope in the future you could definitely join us as we, because this is an ongoing thing. And right now, most of our work as teachers, times are changing, and it may have to be done virtually. And in that way, we could, definitely reach more persons, because if these sessions, normally in workshop sessions, we normally have about anywhere from 15 to 25 persons. And tonight we were able to have up to 80-something% or 80-something persons in the session. So teachers, thank you for giving us some of your time. We know it's, persons are busy getting ready to go back to school, getting ready to start engaging their students, whether it's in person, whether it's online, and that is good. So again, thank you guys. We've come to the end of today's session. Don't forget our radio program on Sunday. It continues. World Teachers Day, it is on the 5th, I believe, the 5th of October, one day after we return back to school. So I don't know, different branches, you might have stuff planned for World Teachers Day, celebrating teachers. Also, our Solidarity Week, it is coming up in November. And I know we as an executive, we are actually getting things planned for our Solidarity Week. So this is where we come to our end. I just want to thank Samantha. Samantha did a lot of work. One of our committee members, she did a lot of work in the, getting this whole program ready. Samantha, thank you so much. This is my second program. I hope I did well. I hope I did well. Maybe I would be invited by the executive to host another program again. I do not know, but I am thankful for the opportunity to be able to be here, and to be in community with you guys. Thank you again, and I think that is it. I'll see you guys And congrats again to North Winwood. I know Robbie. Robbie is happy because that is his branch. He's in charge of that branch. And I know, Robbie gotta be in his own right now. Robbie gotta be happy, our president. He's the person who works along with the North Winwood branch. Thank you, everyone. Look after yourself and stay healthy. Monique, definitely do some exercise. Wear your mask and everything. Thanks, you can. So again, this is where I leave you. I'm actually at the union office. I have a long drive back to my house. So thanks again, guys, and we will see you again in our next session.
All right, thank you for having us. Stay cool, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good evening.
Yeah,
Thanks.
thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Good night, everyone.